Tonight's show is brought to you by Ventura Training and Athletics. Restore, train, maintain. Specializing in the restoration of the muscular system to help you move and feel better. Combating TBI, PTSD, and pain through specialized strength training. Again, get your body right, get your mind right, defeat the demons.
This is the Veteran Trash Talk Hour, hosted by Nick, Dave, Joe, and Buddy. Today's special guest is Bookem Bridging, a rapper much like Dave, a legend in his own mind.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Saturday. Welcome to episode 44 of the Trash Talk Hour. Shout out to our sponsors, Ventura Training and Athletics, Cardinal Financial, and last but not least, 10th Mountain Whiskey. Type in VTT and get a discount. Special guest for today, our Officer Bookem, and he's going to be talking to us about the Bridges Project and some amazing things he's doing as an officer in his community. We also have First on Gimbal on the show, and he is a close friend of mine, and he's going to address some recent and tragic events that occurred in his company. And as always, I'm here with Buddy, Nick, and Joe. Over to you, Joe. Let's get this party started.
Hey, Joe, hold up.
What's going on? All right, I'm waiting.
Hold up. I know Dave's gonna be like, "What the fuck just happened?" But he's been a little slow this week, so we need a proper introduction. Joe, can you help out Dave and show him what he's actually supposed to do with the intro, please?
Oh, for the love of God!
Go for it, Joe.
That's fine, Dave. Don't worry. We've been here before, haven't we? Anyways, I won't go there. No further details. But listen, our boy Bookem's on the show. For you, those of you who have not seen us interview him yet, or him be on the show the first time, let me tell you a little bit about what this man does. Okay. But before I say that, I'm gonna go ahead and step on a side of the line that I haven't publicly. And if people don't like it, I don't really give a shit. We support cops who are part of the solution. All right. If you don't like it, no one's holding you hostage here. We support cops who are part of the solution. Some of them are our brothers. We stand with them 100%. And Bookem is definitely one of those cops that's out there trying to make as big a dent as he can personally. He puts skin in the game. He walks it like he talks it. We love having him here. And I've got this question that's been burning. I don't get to talk to the man very often, but some of y'all don't know he's also a hip hop artist, takes it very seriously. He's actually just recently put out, is it an LP? Did I get that right,
EP.
EP, that's
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
recently just put it out. So the man definitely puts the time in and he's respected at his craft. So being that you're our subject matter expert on the show, as much as that might sting Dave a bit, I'd say you outrank him in the game. I'm going to paint the scene for you. Several months ago, we're in New Orleans together. First time I've seen Dave and Nick in 10 years plus. We're in the French Quarter. We just had oysters and ice cold beer dinner after shooting a movie scene on the day we see each other for the first time in 10 years.
And Nick is finally on IMBD. Nick is on IMBD.
Yeah, look out for that on Netflix because that's a true story. That's coming. But we're walking down the street, beautiful day, and I can't enjoy it because every 2 steps, Dave's like, "Joe, check out this one." And he's freestyling the whole time. I'm like, "Dave, you're 38 years old, bro. You've had a stellar military career. You're engaged to a beautiful woman who makes money. We all respect you. The last time you put something down, it went triple plastic in the regional scene. Why are you still holding on to these rap dreams? Like, do you have problems with people on your side where it's like, you just got to tell them to let it go, brother? All right. You've done better things in other avenues. This isn't your wheelhouse anymore." Like, how do you tell a friend that? Because we love him, we do. But I just
welcome to the Trash Talk Hour.
All right. So, anyways, Dave, it's been good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while, so I just wrote that for you. But anyways, Bookem.
Yeah, hey, Joe, before you go, I need our guests to turn their screens landscape so we can see your beautiful faces in backyard.
Yeah.
So yeah, Joe, go ahead.
No, I was just I was actually just telling a little fib there so I could mess with Dave a little bit since I haven't talked to him in a while. But
love you, man.
How is that going? And when are you and Dave gonna lay a track down together? Is what I'm wondering.
That's gonna happen soon. It's my fault. I've been irresponsible. Dave has reached out to me. I've just been going crazy. I hate using the term "I've been too busy" because everybody uses that term too loosely. You know what I'm saying? So we always have time. We just have to make the time. You know what I'm saying? So I just gotta link up with Dave and just make it happen. You know, we just gotta make it happen on my end.
I appreciate that, and I don't want to flip the order and get into all the material that you have for us coming up. So I'm gonna go ahead, because as much as I love getting a laugh and as fun as that was to tell that joke, we've got some serious issues to deal with, and it's more of an active duty issue. These boys are active duty, and they are foaming at the mouth to get a word out. So I'm gonna toss it back to Nick, and we can go from there.
Well, you can't get serious yet. I want to know how you feel about the Elite Eight.
Oh,
I want to know how you feel about Michigan.
What else do you want to hear? My dog died. It couldn't have been worse. I mean, it was awful.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that basketball? Is that basketball?
Yeah, I'm gonna kick you while you're down. Yeah,
it's not Bundesliga. Right? I'll tell you that. But no,
it's not soccer, awful, football. It's not football.
It was awful, man. They
dumped their Scheiße.
Played their worst game on their last game. So it is what it is. It's a Michigan thing apparently. It happens. They get right down to the end. It's like the old school Red Sox when people talk about them, like they love to break your heart. They'll get far enough and then lay an egg like they did that night. So sucks.
All right, hey,
thanks for talking about it.
So I just had to remind you that they're not in the tournament anymore. The Final Four games are on today, but
I'm aware.
Dave's been begging me to get Bookem on. All right, and so I keep trying to tell him that this is a veteran trash talk. It's a veteran trash talk podcast. All right, but in my ignorance with that, you tend to forget about the first responder suicide rate as well, and you tend to forget about the hardships that they go through. And Bookem's an officer; he'll talk about it. We're glad to have him on the show. And so please tell us about your rap career, which is way better than Dave's ever was, and talk about the projects you got going on and all that good stuff, man. Welcome to the Trash Talk Hour, Bookem. Glad to have you here.
Hey, guys.
Cheers.
It's an honor. Cheers, man. I'm drinking some bullshit soda, but it's an honor, man, to be on here again. I love what you guys stand for. I have a deep, deep respect for all military personnel, man. So kudos to you guys for serving our country. It's a pleasure, man. In regards to the rapping, I've been doing this since I was 13 years old. It was always an outlet for me to express myself. I come from a very volatile household. So as a young kid, I used to use poetry. And then from poetry, I saw that there was a rhythm to it. I started rapping. I got on the job 16 years ago. And when I got on the job, it's very hard being in a paramilitary organization to say, hey, listen, I'm a rapper. You know what I'm saying? So we could be honest and say, listen, in a paramilitary organization, it's frowned upon. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how it goes in the military, but I know for law enforcement, it's frowned upon because they equate it to somebody that's being hood or affiliates themselves with the streets, gang mentality, criminal mentality.
Or if you look like any of us, they're saying he thinks he's the next Eminem. I'm just saying that's one of the ones that we get.
What?
Yeah, man. So, I mean, listen, I just think you should be yourself. I don't think you should hide who you are and what you love to do. As long as you do your job with due diligence, you take your job serious, and, you have hobbies outside of that job, whether it's singing, rapping, acting, having a podcast, doing whatever you want to do. As long as you're doing it correctly, you should be able to do whatever you feel is in your heart to do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm an advocate for being yourself, regardless of whatever uniform you wear.
Hey, one of my favorite quotes from you is be a part of your community and not a part. Can you hit on that?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, so be a part of your community, not apart from your community. So in the policeman's oath, that's one of the statements made within a policeman's oath is, you take an oath to never betray your community. And in other words, always being a part of your community. I feel like too many cops get caught up in I got to be super aggressive and it's us versus them. No, man, you forget that you are a part of the community. You are supposed to be service to the community. And the protection part is a huge aspect of law enforcement, but being a part of your community, not only for the good, not only for the bad, but being there for the good. People should know you. They should know you. They should feel comfortable with me. When I get out of my car, they should say, "Hey, what's up, Dan? How you doing, Officer Rivera?" That's the type of interaction I think we're missing in law enforcement.
Hey, Bookem, I got a question for you, if that's all right, Nick. I didn't mean to step on you, but
Sure.
you say you've been on the job 16 years, and every year there's a new news story that creates a bigger divide between your uniform and the civilian world. And I'm just saying, with the last 2 years, with what's been going on with George Floyd and everything else, have you lost and had to repair the relationship with the community, or were they able to see through it and know you were one of the good ones, or did you actually have people that you felt were in your corner that kind of turned on you after all this stuff happened just because of the way the country was going?
Oh, that's a great question, bro. It's going to be ironic. The answer is going to be ironic. Believe it or not, a lot of the community members really showed me support and saying like, "Oh no, we know Bookem. Bookem's a good guy." And it's crazy. On the other side of the spectrum, it became with a lot of law enforcement officers, with all these incidents happening with these dumb cops doing dumb shit. Now it became like us versus them more than ever. So now the cops are saying, "You got to choose a side. You got to choose a side. It's either you're a cop or you're with the community. There's no in between. That's it." So it was like, we're in a weird state, to say the least. Some cops absolutely hate that I'm a part of the community. I'm going to keep it real. For any cops that are watching, they'll never say it to me, but they give you that demeanor when they see you. They say, "Oh, this guy's fucking wants to be cool with everybody." But dude, that's what I signed up for. Why should I change because a couple of dumb cops made it worse for us? Should I now change who I am because it's us versus them? No, man, it's us. We have to be unified. We have to be unified in order to really induce change, man.
It's like what we spoke about this morning when I said we live in the middle, and people tend to have a real problem with that. We spoke about. Go ahead, Nick.
I'm definitely gonna hit up on that aspect later in the show as well. So keep talking about it, please. There's a comment on Gruntworks from Tim. It says, "I've always backed the blue. Can't let a couple of bad cops change your opinion of 1,000 cops." Now, again, that's a very linear statement, which you can agree with or you can disagree with pretty easily, because they don't give you like you said, they don't give you a middle ground. Okay.
No,
now we've been saying on this show that the Army struggles to find the shitty people and fire. Like, find the shitty people and fire them. Where do you see that going in the cop force as well? Because again, any job you do, there's going to be shitty people there, and it's like, how do you find them and how do you get rid of them? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Man, that's a tough one. Because let's be honest. Once again, I don't know how it works in the military world, but in the law enforcement world, a lot of the things aren't based off merit. You could be the greatest cop in the world, and you could still get shitted on. You could still get the worst end of the stick. The best way to weed that out, from my perspective in law enforcement, is to really implement a civilian aspect to the hiring process. What I mean by that is, you get 5 civilians that have a stake in their community. It can't just be anybody. It has to be 5 people that are obviously pro-community, right? Somebody that's maybe a teacher, maybe another law enforcement officer, somebody that's a staple in the community. 5 members. Then you get 5 members from law enforcement. You put them together and you form that. That should be your hiring board. That should be your board. The reason why I say that is because now the community has a stake in the individuals that they're hiring. It's not only like, "Oh, okay, my nephew needs a job. He's going to be a shit cop. He's scared of his own shadow, but he needs a good paying job with a good pension. So let me get him on the job and skip all the other great candidates." So that's what I say, like, we need somebody, we need to filter that process, and the only way to filter it is that we need the community, civilians, to infiltrate the hiring process. Because then now right. So then now what happens is What happens is both sides have a stake in the hiring process. So now you can't say, well, the law enforcement, the department decided to hire this individual. No, we all collectively came together and decided who was best for the community. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah. That's awesome.
Perfect. Hey, what else do you have going on? What's your organization that you have going on? What have you started the project, the Bookem project? Let's get into that.
All right. Okay. So the Bridges project is a nonprofit. Yeah, no problem. The Bridges project is a nonprofit 501c3 based out of New Jersey. It's predicated on community outreach, mentorship, and music. So what I do is I go into the schools now, obviously COVID slowed it down, but I go into the inner cities, I go into the schools, I mentor kids, I teach them how to do hip hop in a positive light. And I also teach them how to be constructive citizens, you know what I mean? Have some structure in their life. So basically bridging the gap between law enforcement and community, showing them that you can be a cop, you can have a profession, but you can still be a rapper, you could still be a singer, you can still have hobbies outside of your profession.
Do you have any serious prospects that have been in the studio that you're keeping hidden until you can groom them? You got anybody that can really come through there and put something down?
How's he supposed to answer that if he's hiding?
Other than Dave.
He doesn't have to give names. Yeah. Well, listen, you're gonna have to start a whole nother 501c to work on Dave's rap career. Okay, it's gonna have to be the David project. All right, that's a whole nother work in progress.
It's DDT. All right, for those of you who don't know, Dave, it's DDT. That's his rap name. Is that a hook? It's not the hook, right? The hook is the chorus of the rap.
The hook is the chorus, Nick. The hook is the chorus.
Yeah. Got it. So what's the hook going to be? Hey, Bookem, can you give us a hook on how good of a German rapper Dave was? Can I put you on the spot?
Oh,
can you battle him right now? Battle him right now.
I won't battle my boy, man.
Come on. I mean, we could 8 Mile of shit. Joe's from 8 Mile, just like everybody from Detroit and the Army's from 8 Mile. All right. So
I grew up.
Joe grew up with Eminem. Joe grew up with Eminem.
I grew up on 9 Mile. Thank you very much.
Every kid in the Army from Detroit.
Hey, listen, I could give you guys a verse that would, since we're talking about suicide awareness, I know that's it's near and dear to me on numerous levels. Unfortunately, I lost my father, who was a veteran, to suicide last year, February 15th. He committed suicide. He's a retired veteran, Army, and so once it touched me personally, I became obviously a stronger advocate for it. And I know, and I saw it firsthand. My father was deeply depressed. I tried everything to get him out of that black hole. And I remember he made a statement to me one day. We were sitting in the car and he told me, he said, get him out of that. He goes, I used to walk into a room and people would feel the need to come and talk to me. I felt like a light. But he said, I don't have that anymore. And when he said that to me, look, I get goosebumps now. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I really didn't know what to say to him. Because my dad was one of those guys that was straightforward. You couldn't bullshit him. You couldn't tell him, Dad, no. He was like, no, this is what it is. So I could empathize with Gimbal. I could empathize with any of you guys that have, been subject to knowing somebody that's committed suicide. So I wrote a verse a while ago, and the verse could correlate to what we're talking about today. If you want, I'll say it for you if you want.
Spit it.
All right. You ever looked in the eyes of those that are lost souls when they traded their crosses for them crossbones? Don't even have keys to a place to call home. They really hurt, and the smile that you see is all show. Yeah, and persecuted by their own blood. They start hating all the people that they once loved, soaking in tears, pain deep as the ocean, living revelation, being eaten by locusts, but nobody noticed. They ain't got enough followers. Keep it bottled up. The Grim Reaper starts to follow them. They popping pills, drinking more, and they sipping lean. Sitting here dying slow. Nobody intervenes. Nah, they record them and scream world star. Living fast till life throw them a curveball. And I ain't talking minor leagues. I mean Kershaw. And when your parents pitch him to you, then it hurts more. So that's what I wrote a while ago.
Very nice. That was better than Joe's haiku. So,
there was some powerful lines in there. That's a really good segue into old First Sergeant Gimbel, who's been patiently waiting. Yes, again, like I said, it was in my ignorance that I didn't even think about the first responder suicide thing, and then of course one of those things that nobody wants to talk about reality anymore. It's the linear language of the United States. All right, and so it's like, we brought Gimbel on because there's an issue that we're going to address, and they can't go into a lot of details about it, but we lost another brother like we do every day. We lose a lot of brothers and sisters every day, and this one hits home to these guys pretty hard. So we applaud First Sergeant Gimbel coming on to share the story, because we know it's difficult. And,
thank you, brother.
That's what we're trying to defeat the stigma as well with VTT, is get on here, get on the page. Get on the podcast, talk about your stuff, talk about your problems, all right? Bring the demon out together so we can crush it. But we are going to crush some things today, for sure. Some of the narrative that's been put out. But hey, First Sergeant Gimbel, welcome to the show. Tell us where you're working out of, and tell us why you're also better than Dave. This is two guests that are better than Dave. So
see how it's always a challenge to be better than me? You know, like it's some great thing.
That's fine. You're the
we want you to believe in you. Okay, that's all we're saying, Dave.
Yeah, we're building your self-esteem up, Dave.
Yeah,
you know you need it. So
because we love you.
Not required. Gimbel,
welcome to the Trash Talk Hour. What you got going on?
Thank y'all for having me. I mean, some things are better left unsaid when it comes to me being better than Dave. He knows that. So we talk about that every day. I'm the first sergeant here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We covered recruiting operations pretty much for the entire state up to Las Cruces. We covered 5 miles from Texas, 5 miles from Colorado, and 5 miles from Arizona. So we got the entire state. No news to anybody, especially here. Maybe some of the viewers might not know, but we lost a soldier this week to suicide, which is an unfortunate thing. We were in Phoenix doing a briefing at the time when it took place, and bottom line up front, I think I was brought on the show really to clear some of the bullshit that has been said by utilizing some of the platforms on Facebook and whatever other platforms they worded. They tried to use a tragedy that had nothing to do with the company or the location they were in, and they want to paint a picture that the leadership is toxic in our organization. Which, you know, to address in regards to it, the CSM, when it took place, she was on the plane with us. She tried to board the plane. You know, anybody in the Army knows that SATO travel doesn't approve within 10, 20 minutes. So she purchased a ticket out of pocket to fly out here to support the troops. And she wasn't allowed to board. Pretty much something took place, but she wasn't able to board. But it's been nothing but support from the battalion leadership, the battalion commander, the battalion sergeant major, for all the first sergeants, especially like Dave. Me and Dave go back how many years?
Shit, 11 now, brother.
11 years, yeah. So again, it's a tragedy that took place. I do think like I think the Army focuses a lot on like the reaction to it when something like that takes place, and then just moving forward, you know, it's a people business. We got to take care of our soldiers, which I think takes place. I've been in the Army 14 years now, 15 in August, and I never once had I never experienced the toxicity that some of these individuals portray on these social media platforms and utilize a tragedy to gain likes and views for whatever reason it was. I have no idea. But not only was it extremely unprofessional, the other side, I don't think they took into consideration the soldiers, the battle buddies that worked with that individual, that read that post, that know the story. It hit them pretty hard as well. So when they do stuff like this, I don't think they take into consideration those individual feelings as well. Along with the family, there's a lot of, you know, civilians, spouses that are on those pages that see that stuff. So definitely was out of line.
Michael, thanks for coming on and expressing
Go ahead,
all that
Dave.
stuff, man. And I can vouch for you as a fellow first sergeant in the battalion. that you are definitely one of the top dogs, and I love you to pieces, man. And the way you treat your soldiers, obviously, in all the comments on that post, you can see all your soldiers responding. So I know that there's no toxic leadership going on, and that that post and that incident was literally used to gain followers, likes, and everything. And it's horrific, and it's frankly just disgusting. So like Recruiter Times, cool. You want to have a page where you can bring that stuff out? Like, okay, cool. You know, let's bring some crappy stuff to the limelight, but let's not use something like this without knowing the facts and allow something like this to be posted.
There is nobody in that Recruiter Times organization that wants to see me right now. Okay, nobody. Okay, I will. You know, we got a cop on, so I got to be careful. But hypothetically, I will end your fucking life. All right, hypothetically. All right, it's that simple. Okay, so, Mike, if there's anything else you want to say before I become the triggered pansy that I am right now? All right. What else do you want to say? Anything else you want to say about the topic before I go nuts?
Yeah, just the only other thing I like to highlight is a while ago, I did this class. It was called, I think it was probably the best class I had. It was called Bystander Intervention. And I kind of thought about that incident that took place in DC where the Uber driver got his car jacked by two teenagers. And there was soldiers out there that were recording this shit. And again, they just recorded it. And again, what took place was the car took off, car flipped over, Uber driver died. I'm not relating the two by all means, because I don't think there was nothing that could have been done, but just pick your people up. You know, if there's something going on at that time, like it takes a strong person to stop and intervene and stop it before the action occurs. Grabbing them up, taking them back into the office, having a conversation with them, whatever it may be, just intervene. When you feel something's fucked up, you have to step in and intervene on it. You just can't let the shit take place, because by doing so, you're allowing the action to occur.
Nick, are you ready to go, or is it all right if I say something before you do?
Go ahead.
Go, Joe. Nick's
Okay,
been waiting since yesterday. He can wait a couple minutes.
Listen, all I'm saying is this from my perspective. When it comes to the Recruiter Times article, the toxicity is in the fact that you give a fucking microphone to anybody that'll say anything. And for the people that did step out and say something, if you were a bystander and watched all this go down, then shut your fucking mouth. Somebody died. Somebody's being buried. Just keep your fucking mouth shut if you're not going to be part of the solution, because there's people who are trying to put the pieces back together, and you're definitely not helping, and your opinion doesn't fucking matter. I'm done.
Yeah, Joe, that's actually a good segue. I'm going to disagree with you a little bit. I know WTF Radio is watching right now. Thanks for tuning in and giving us that support. We need to have freedom of speech so that we can see who the fucking morons are. Okay, that it really helps. Okay, now when we take it personal, which is when you become triggered, right? I got the shirt. Go to shop.veterantrashtalk.com, right? Hey, quit being a triggered pansy. And I became triggered because it's personal, right? So we keep trying to tell people that when it becomes personal, then you have to try your hardest to take a step back and look at it logically. All right. Look at the intangibles. What happened? Why did it happen? Now, as a former RI, a ranger instructor, we used to love the buzzwords that the students would yell when they were in a firefight, a fake one, right? They would just start yelling stuff out because that's what's going to get them a go, right? They'd be like, suppressive fire. They're like, no shit. All right. Like, what is, no, like you have to actually give a fire command. Okay. So what really is upsetting with the Recruiter Times is you carry that name and you're making money off that name, right? Recruiter Times. Now, I'm not a recruiter. I never wanted to, until I got broke, that I ever want to, be a recruiter like Dave, because it's just kind of pansy-ish, but we'll get over it.
Damn, I'm getting the business today, huh?
Well, yeah, I'm really trying. I know I'm really trying to get this going, but I'm that fucking triggered. Okay, I'm that triggered at Recruiter Times. I'm that triggered at a lot of initiatives that we have in the Army, because VTT takes soldier suicide, veteran suicide very serious. In fact, it's our fucking business, right? We want to lower it. Here's the truth about suicide. It happens. Here's another truth. It happens every fucking day. And when you're in the military or you served, there's probably a pretty good chance you know somebody who did it. All right. And if you've served for more than, long enough, you've probably had multiple people in your formation do it. Okay. That's reality. And nobody wants to talk about it because of the English linear language, like I always said. Oh, the reason why he killed himself was because of toxic leadership. Really, motherfucker? Really? That's why he killed himself? You think it was that fucking simple? Huh? You're going to say that? And like Gimbal said, I actually had one toxic environment that I was in. And Dave was in it. I think Buddy was in it too. All right. There was one toxic environment that we were in. But for the most part, the Army is one of the most efficient, most well-diverse things on the fucking planet. There is always somebody, like Bookem said, his dad, somebody used to want to come talk to me. All right. And cheers to your father again, Bookem. I know he's with the Warriors. He's with his Warriors right now. And he's having those conversations that he missed. And that's what we started the VTT for, was to have the conversations with each other, to have that camaraderie. And I know that there's shitheads in the military, but I also know that no matter what unit I've been in, if I had a problem, I was going to find somebody that could help. And there was going to be somebody willing to help. There was going to be somebody there. And I have no doubt, I trust Dave's opinion probably about 95% of the time, which is pretty high for me. So if he was to call me and say, no, actually Gimbal's pretty fucked up. Actually, this whole unit's kind of fucked up. I would have believed him. But when he told me that what was going on Recruiter Times, that soft ass fucking cherry shit. All right. What he told me what was going on that stupid platform, at first, I thought he was saying that. I was like, whoa. He's like, no. That's what was said on there. I was like, holy shit. Okay. So whoever that True North is, all right, go fuck yourself. All right. And then Recruiter Times, go fuck yourself.
You can join them.
I think True North actually is a soldier. So you have issues. All right. Don't go fuck yourself. All right. Come talk to us. All right. Why don't you come on the Trash Talk Hour?
Yeah, let's debate this on an open platform for all you big mouths.
Let's hash out. Let's hash out what the problem is. Okay, so I take that back. I don't want you who wrote that to go fuck yourself because you're a soldier. Maybe you're a little mentally upset too. All right, so maybe we can talk about it. So come on, send me a fucking text, send me an email. Anyways, it got me so triggered again that I started thinking about a lot of things. And when I get triggered, because I work on it, all right, I work on it every day to be better about it. And some days I fail, some days I don't. And I'm not going to be triggered about it all week. I'm just going to let it fucking go. All right, because the negative vibes are going to kill your energy. All right, they're going to kill your momentum. All right, they're going to stop your progress. All right, so you can bitch and whine. And like Bookem said about cops, it's the same with any situation in the military. Military sexual trauma. Okay, suicide, toxic leadership. There is a fucking middle ground. Okay, there are intangibles that matter. And I'm going to give a big shout out to Leah again. All right, Leah is doing something nobody else is fucking doing. There aren't too many military women out there who got fucking raped by an officer talking about it and bringing people on their show. And then those brave warriors come out and talk about their experiences. And there was an episode, a few Female Warrior Edition episodes ago, where one of the ladies on there, one of the warriors on there was talking about why do people who have experienced rape and MST want to know why you're the one getting attention? Okay, because Leah was told that it was her fault. Leah was told to shut the fuck up. All right. And you can watch the interview. I'm for that. You can watch the fucking interview. All right. It's hard to listen to. It's hard to talk about. That's why nobody wants to fucking talk about it. And then you get your attention-seeking fucking warriors out there. All right, that they just want clickbait. That's exactly what fucking Recruiter Times is doing. They want clickbait over a serious fucking situation, and they don't want to offer any fucking opinions or solutions to it. All right, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they thought it would create a conversation. All right, maybe, but I doubt it. I doubt that's what they were thinking. All right, all they were thinking was, oh shit, clickbait in Recruiter Times. All right, Recruiter Times, I see you commenting something at other places. All right, I will continue to blast you out everywhere. All right, and again, why do people who suffered MST? Because there's intangibles. And I had a good buddy say something. There's no such thing as a victimless crime. Okay, and now right away, people are going to say, "Oh, you're victim blaming." No, I'm not. But if you look at the newest sharp training, the shit that we all had to do for the last 8 hours, like the 8 hours out of the weather, the newest one, it even says, don't go out alone. It even says, when you're drinking, have a plan. Okay? Yes, again, for you triggered fucking pansies out there, that is not an excuse to be fucking raped. Okay? That is, it's not. Everybody with a sound mind agrees with that. Everybody. But why would we not prepare ourselves, whatever we're doing, to be successful? All right, there's certain truths that are hard to hear. All right, there are predators out there. The suicide demon is in a lot of people's heads. All right, those things that are truth. And to think that you're going to attack it one way you're going to fail. All right, for those of you who don't understand a lot of military doctrine, all right, how many decisive points of the operation can you have? All right, you can only have one. In every military offensive operation, there's only one decisive point. All right, and that decisive point is when it tilts the scale and we're going to fucking win now. All right, what do you have to do as a planner for that decisive point? You better have 3 fucking ways to get it done minimum. All right, because that's the decisive point. That's the point where either we retreat or we go forward. Now, the paratroopers never retreat, so that's not a big deal.
Airborne.
It bothers me that when we talk about MST and we want to bring it up, we want to talk about it. We want to start the conversation. It's a fucking nasty one. Right? Listening to the stories, your legs start twitching. Right? If you're a decent human being, your legs start twitching. You start getting fucking mad. But then again, if I'm telling people how to prepare themselves to be victorious in life, and guess what? A real truth is there's, over 10,000 men get raped a year in the Army? Men. Or in the whole DOD. And only fucking 1,000 of them get reported. Right? That's the stat. At least that's what the sharp teacher told me. Okay? And then women. Yes, there are predators out there. And it sucks. But that's the truth. So nobody's victim blaming anybody. It's just things that we know are true. And if we don't discuss them, if we don't discuss the why for many things in a complex organization, then we will fucking go nowhere. All right, we will never progress. Period.
Hey, that's what I think the most important thing about what Leah's doing is what Nick's trying to say is that the conversation is very uncomfortable to listen to. But if you sit through it, I've never sat through anything she's done without coming out a little more educated. And what he's trying to say is trying to tell people to prepare, because if there was a green blinking arrow like a cartoon above these predators, there'd be no rape. They're professionals at hiding. Okay. So what we're saying is prepare yourself for Murphy's Law. and you might be in a better situation. And that's not victim blaming
Right.
at all. And what Leah's doing
Embrace
is
it.
educating people on what happened to her because no one talks about it. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, what Leah's doing, and the guests that she have on are their fucking superior. Okay. I'm gonna say right now, they don't get as many views as us, but they should get fucking 100,000 times more views than us. All right. What she's doing is groundbreaking. All right. And what she's doing is tough. And is she gonna make mistakes? Look what happened when she made a mistake. Look what happened. All right, it got real fucking personal for a lot of us, and they were all fucking wrong. Because like Buddy said during the show, easy with the zero tolerance. Easy. All right, there's fucking intangibles. There is a middle ground. There are people that are wondering why you're getting attention, and then they want to know what happened to you. That is the conversation that needs to happen, because even if they're wrong to question you, even if it's wrong, which I agree it's wrong to question you, if they're not questioning you to shame you, if they're questioning you to learn more, if they're questioning you to work through their own demons, which one of our guests did a brilliant job explaining, was that I need to hear it. I need to hear what happened to you. I need to hear why you're getting attention. Because I didn't get attention. I didn't get any help. In fact, one of her guests got kicked out of the fucking army before she could get any help. All right. And she owned up to it. That warrior owned up to it. And again, the triggeredness does not allow you to see logic. And we're all fucking guilty. All right. We are all fucking guilty of it. So I did get triggered, and I still am triggered, but I will woo-saw this shit away. It'll be gone because it's not productive. All right, Recruiter Times, I hope you make millions of dollars, billions of dollars in your lifetime off of sharing stupid shit like this. All right, I hope you make lots of money doing it, because maybe money and likes and subscribers are the only motivation you have. So that's why you're not good people. All right. We keep saying it. I don't give a fuck if you're rich. I hope you're wealthy. I hope you make a lot of money. I hope you make more. I hope everybody on this panel makes more money than me in their lifetime. And if I can help them do it, I'll do it. All right. If I can't, I'll get out of the fucking way. All right. If all you're doing is getting in the fucking way of progress, we don't got time for you. That's why I'm not going to be triggered about it anymore. Because I don't got time for you, Recruiter Times. And I hope Sergeant Major Garcia, all I've heard from these guys, and I'm not going to blow smoke up all their asses, but all I've heard was that you're solid. All right. And
she is.
You know, another female leader getting blasted for not doing the right thing, I guess. So again, those same fascist people, they'll attack a woman if it doesn't meet their priority, but then say they're the fucking fascist of women. It hurts. Suicide hurts. I lost an old soldier of mine right here in El Paso, and I said, "Hey, when the general lifts the restrictions, let's get a beer together." You know, and he said he loved our page, he loved our show, and then he killed himself when our page got shut down. I don't know if that's not the linear reason. That's not the one reason why. All right, it was a contributing factor. All right, it was an intangible. There was something that, you know, hey, could have found a different outlet. All right. Try your hardest to move forward. Try your hardest to be better. All right. And if all you're doing is spewing hate and you're being self-righteous and thinking that we don't need to discuss intangibles, all right. If you don't think we need to discuss why things happen and start getting the stats on who's wrong and why this happened, if you don't think we need to gather that data, all right, you're a fucking moron. All right. We can't fix it unless we get all the fucking intangibles. And some of them are not fun to listen to. Some of the realities in this world are not fucking fun. All right. If the world was fucking perfect, then we wouldn't need this show. We wouldn't need an army. We wouldn't need cops. Okay. We wouldn't need firemen. We wouldn't. But the fact is we do. And that's something we don't want to talk about. So yes, should you be able to walk down the street butt ass naked as a man or woman and not get raped? 100%, you should be able to. But there's no such thing as a victimless crime. And it's not victim blaming. It's simply like, how do we defeat this? How do we keep our people safe? How do we keep our people safe so that we can start going after these motherfuckers? Right? How do we keep that? Now, I don't have the answer to that. That's not my job. Okay? But just asking that question doesn't make you a victim blamer. Asking that question, even, hey, bring up the toxic leadership in the recruiting battalion in Phoenix. Bring it up. Let's have it. Maybe there is something there. Okay? But for you to put it out on the platform of this is why, you're the fucking problem. You people, what do you mean you people, Joe? All right. You people are the problem. The ones that have the linear responses. This is why retention's down. This is why people commit suicide. This is, you got to be on the A or B side. The bell curve again. Sorry, Perry, I'm not going to draw it. Okay. There's a middle ground. Recruiting times, whatever the fuck your name is. All right. You were wrong. And it triggered people. And it got what you wanted. It got you attention. All right. We gave you more attention than you deserve. So from here on out, I will not fucking, I will not even mention your fucking name anymore. All right. I won't
Never heard of him.
I will block your shit. All right. Because you're not productive. All you want is likes and subscribers. And you don't care that this whole family's turned upside down. Yep. You don't give a flying fuck about that. Yep. You don't give a flying fuck that there's leaders out there that probably were in tears. All right. That when my soldier killed himself, I'll admit it, I was sitting on my back fucking porch, drinking all my 10th Mountain bourbon, crying like a fucking baby. All right. That one fucking hurt. It hurt bad. Okay. So good job getting your likes. Good job. Good job. Fucking sweet. Over you, buddy.
Buddy's waiting.
So, yeah, well, I know that you're not going to discuss it, but little backstory. One of the best command teams, I was the best command threesomes, if you will, that I was ever a part of was on the dive team I was on. We had a chief, a team leader, and myself as the team sergeant. And not a single one of us was above getting triggered because we were passionate about either the mission, the guys, or what our part of the piece of pie was. The good side was that not all of us got triggered at the same time, so there was always at least one or two that could bring us down. Now, Nick's triggered about the recruiter times, and I completely understand it. But to be the non-triggered one, the recruiter times, correct me if I'm wrong, was supposed to be some platform that was created so that recruiters could talk to other recruiters on Facebook. Right? Is that a true statement, Dave? Or?
Kind of. No, there's a more productive one called the Recruiter Forum, where actually TTPs are shared. This one is more of a, hey, I want to complain about my leadership.
They just want to bitch, whine, and moan, and it's supposed to be a place for them to vent, right? Which is, it's understandable and it's fine. You can do that, but
they do bring some positive stuff to light. They do bring some positive stuff to light to get attention,
and that's great. But here's the thing. Thing number one, the guy that wrote that freaking whole statement, True North or whatever. First of all, the IG in the Army doesn't stand for Instagram. It stands for the freaking the Inspector General. That's where your toxic leadership complaints and bitches go to. If you have something that you need to talk to somebody about, and it's actually quantitative and it's a real problem, you take it to them and they take care of it, and the Army is a better place. That's how this works. Not Instagram, not Facebook, not other than that, it's just you trying to use a tragedy and bitching and whining and moaning a bunch of random shit that doesn't have anything I fucking hate working here because I have to shave and get a haircut. Well, then fucking go work somewhere else. Don't be in the Army. Like, dude, girls get to have ponytails. Why can't I grow a beard? Because they're shut the fuck up. Why does it matter? It's not the same thing. Like, you're just bitching. Number two, not only do we have a podcast, but we have a Facebook page too. And we also get a bunch of random bullshit that goes through the Facebook page. But we have a bunch of moderators, same as fucking the Recruiter Times does, that's supposed to read this shit and then fucking figure out what they are or are not going to put on there. And then if you see something, then it's up to you as a moderator to fucking instant message that guy and be like, hey, maybe you have some problems here, but now's not the time or place to air this dirty laundry. Go to IG, go talk to this person. Like, here's some other recruiters in your area. Go talk to them so you guys can get it. That's what you're supposed to be doing. That's what we do. If somebody bitches and whines and moans and says that they're going to kill themselves, we don't throw it on the BTT Facebook page so that other people see it and we get some kind of weird likes for it. We call those people, we talk to them, we try to find out what's going on and get them help in their area so that they don't make the ultimate decision. And to say that like on his little thing, he's like, oh, this was a cry for help. Suicide is not a fucking cry for help. Who the fuck are you going to help? He's dead, you dickhead. It's like the whole point. Like, you're already past cries for help. You're now at like final solution to a problem that's temporary. Like, so his whole article was stupid. The reaction to the Recruiter Times, pretty stupid. And they're probably not horrible people. Just made a mistake. People make mistakes. It's life. The problem is that you have to AR that at some point, go back and look at what you did and not do it again. You have to not use some bullshit to get likes. And that caveats into what would behoove you to listen to.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I got them both. All
Oh, shit.
My honesty cap of this week. And here's the honesty cap of the week. We've talked about it several times, especially when it comes to suicide. Suicide prevention is something that we should talk about, but at the end of the day, it's your responsibility to keep yourself from starting a 9mm. It is. If you're depressed and you're not eating right, if you're not eating right, you're not going outside, you're not spending time with family, you're not talking to people, you're not looking for help, then you're not helping your situation at all. The same exact thing that I think Nick was trying to point out when it comes to, military sexual assault, the SHARP program, all that other stuff. If you're not doing the positive things to keep negative things from happening, it's not your fault, but you're not helping your situation either. You have to take an active role in your own mental health. This week, I took an active role in my mental health. We all have a Facebook page. We've all got a personal one. We're also on Gruntworks. We're also on VTT. On my smartphone, I've got a sweet Facebook app. I just push the button, it pops up. I don't have to log in. I don't do anything. You know what I realized this week? If I delete that fucking little app off of my smartphone so that I have to go to another place to push a button and then log into Facebook, I just don't fucking do it because it's too much work for some bullshit that I don't give a fuck about. Guess what has been better in the last week that I haven't been on fucking Facebook looking at all of the bullshit from everyone else and all their fucking negative shit? Mentally, I feel like I am ready to run a marathon or do something else because I've basically put bunk beds in my brain because I got so much more room for fucking activities. Like, I'm not worried about like the conspiracy theory.
That's a shirt.
Of this.
That's a shirt right there.
This fucking whack job.
Tank top, Nick. Tank top.
That motherfucking evergreen maritime is drifting through the fucking Suez Canal because they had a goddamn 3 billion tankers full of fucking Kenyan babies that they were taking to fucking Joe Biden and fucking Hillary Clinton. Like, I'm not worried about it. That's not a thing because I didn't fucking see it. We've talked about it before. We advertise a bunch of bullshit without advertising any of the positive in the world. And then we wonder why we have all this shit coming in and then we have shit going out. If you want a fucking positive mental fucking capacity, if you want positive mental health, then you have to put positivity into your fucking head. You can't sit there and fucking look at Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all this other bullshit where fucking non-talented douchebags fucking lip sync motherfucking other people's comedy skits. What the fuck is going on with that? Are we that's where we are talent wise? Like, you lip sync what other people have just said, like other people's shitty TikTok videos. You lip sync TikTok videos of other shitty TikTok videos. And that makes you money.
Hey, Lawrence, sorry to cut you off, but
go ahead.
What you just said, I think I'm gonna use it for TikTok later. Just so
are you really sorry for cutting him off?
You go right ahead. But that being said, if you're drinking mud, then you shouldn't fucking be goddamn mind blown when you got diarrhea. You fucking idiot. Like, drink some fucking water, pull some security, and don't pay attention to the bullshit. Pay attention to the things that actually fucking matter. Spend time with your family. Go get some exercise. Get a goddamn hobby.
Buddy, when are you going to take the gloves off and really let them know how you feel?
By the way, Buddy is on TikTok as well. He
Joe.
might not know. But Buddy is actually on TikTok. So go to subscribe to our TikTok. Buddy is on there.
Yeah, he's on there. Buddy is on TikTok.
He'll even lip sync a video or two every now and then, but that's neither here nor
not on purpose.
No, he just has a road rage video.
Let Buddy finish.
That's my honesty cap of the day.
Hey, no, I appreciate that honesty cap, buddy. I think it flowed well. And again, we're the assholes for telling you that you have to do it yourself. Okay, we're the assholes that say, "Hey, all together as a team, we can defeat this." But you're gonna have to do something about it, right? You're gonna have to be a part of it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. No,
but you got to walk your ass there.
Exactly. And you got to open up to them. All right, and just like John Wayne Troxel. All right, the SEAC, never heard of him. All right, so the SEAC, he said he had to go talk to General Mattis, Secretary of Defense, and tell him that he has to take a break. He's got to go talk to somebody, right? And that stigma's there. So go talk to people. Now, Buddy was right. I have to, the name that I said I wouldn't mention anymore. Maybe you're not all douchebags, probably not. But I was triggered, so that was my thought. Okay, and I couldn't look at it logically for a minute. Now, with recruiting suicide, I explained this to somebody years ago. Remember when recruiters were just like killing themselves at a record rate?
Yep.
It was like absolutely insane.
2009, 2000.
Yeah. Well, even before that, 08 too, it's the mission of the Army is to win wars, right? Their policy of people first is a tremendous one. All right. But it's going to take all of us to individually do it. Otherwise, it's a waste of fucking time. All right. The recruiters back in 2007 and 2008, they had to pump up the numbers something fierce. All right. That was their responsibility. That was their mission. You know what? In the backdrop, remember, this is a middle ground thing nobody wants to hear. All right. In the background of it, the Army didn't care if it lost people to accomplish the mission. That's the bottom line. Did they care about the individuals killing themselves? 100% yes, they did. Okay, did it bother them? Yes, it did. But again, we'll always place the mission first. And if we lose recruiters while we're recruiting at that time, I'm not saying it officially, but was that a casualty of a battle that was okay, as long as we get the numbers, right? It's a hard truth to listen to. So now policies had to change. They had to change the way recruiting was done, which is a great thing, right? So again, there's middle ground. There's things of why they're happening. And guess what? There's somebody sitting in a room going, did they meet their quota?
Nick, I got to say something, man. I just, from the veteran side, because it's very active duty heavy, what you're saying, but from the veteran side, maybe this sounds soft, and I don't care because I know Dave. We chew the same dirt together. I watched his ear bleed like he was in The Walking Dead for 7 days because he refused medevac. I've seen what we've been through. I know who he is, and if he vouches for Gimbal, that's all I need to hear. Did anybody ever take into account that they were running these recruiters into the dirt? They were putting them
didn't
through,
care.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, but is it toxic? This is a toxic. No, it's a human factor. These guys were killing themselves. And then because that wasn't good enough, they were actually taking their own life. I mean, they were literally running these recruiters into the dirt. So I'm not saying that,
No, if he did, and it's what Buddy was talking about. Okay. It's us. It's us that will fix it. It's us that will take care of each other. All right. Yep. I'm telling you right now, in my opinion, back a decade ago, there were people in rooms that as long as recruiters met their numbers, they didn't give a fuck. Yeah. They lost people on a mission, just like what you guys do, just like anybody does who goes on a mission, right? You lose guys and it's acceptable. It's acceptable to the bigger army. It ain't acceptable to us. All right, as non-commissioned officers, as leaders, it's not acceptable to us. So again, we do get triggered about it. It's not acceptable. What happens to people with MST, it's not acceptable. What happens to suicide, it's not acceptable. But a reality of truth is they made a song about it. The Army's going to roll along. All right, it is the Army song. It's going to keep going forward no matter what. Can we make it better? Can we do something about it? That's our job. That's the people's job. Okay, like Bookem said, in the community, be a part of it, not apart from it. Once you start getting out of the people first part of the military, maybe it's time for you to go away. All right, and then also to not be a triggered pansy, understand that there's generals and colonels and CIA guys and the big think tanker guys that they're okay with losing 2 battalions in a fight. Okay? They're okay with that. Because that's war. All right, there's people that are okay with it, that are making the decisions. They're calling on us to take care of our people. It's not the fucking Secretary of the Army's job to take care of people. It's our job. It's our job to take care of people. All right, that's all I got to say about that. Whoever's next, Dave, close us out. Whatever we got to do.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk a little bit more. And I think you guys hit on some amazing points. And, this just goes out to NCOs that use these platforms as a way to complain or bitch about, work and things of that nature. Like, it's okay. Like, let these platforms expose some stuff that's going on within your organization if it's bad. But be an NCO first, okay? Don't be that keyboard warrior that sends in his stuff to complain and say, this is what's happening, without utilizing your leadership. There's a thing called the open door policy. You are a non-commissioned officer. You're an NCO. You're
not allowed to be silent.
And don't be silent. Exactly. Don't be standing by watching these things occur.
Well, you mean as an NCO, I have to grow my nuts and walk into the office and say, hey, First Sergeant,
thank you, buddy.
Like, you want to tell me why we're doing this? Because it's fucking stupid.
Exactly.
Figuratively speaking.
Real quick, not just NCO. Like, there's other platforms that are utilized, and we got, private sending stuff in. Like, if there is an honest issue going on within your organization, bring it up. Somebody's going to help you. Bring it up to your first line supervisor. And if they won't fix it, bring it to the next echelon. Like, it can get fixed. But if you are just standing there in front of the keyboard or sitting there and typing up some narrative to blast everybody, you're dead wrong. You are part of the freaking problem. You are that cancer that is going to continue to spread within your organization because you're standing by and you ain't doing jack and shit. Anyway, I'm getting heated again now. I'm getting heated again. I'm going to hand it over to
there's also a pretty good chance that you're the guy that if that guy that is having problems comes to you, instead of giving him positive things that he can do to change it or fix it or figure out how, you're just feeding into his bullshit, making him more and more depressed and shitty.
And so what does that do to your entire organization? In this case, your recruiting office, your company. Yeah. It's a cancer and it spreads because everybody is acting the same way and nothing is getting fixed. I saw a comment yesterday and I'm not going to call the guy out, but he was laughing at the post
I would.
that I did on there. Yeah, he was laughing at the post. And it's like, what's so funny about this? And he brought up a situation in some other battalion where there was a funeral because of a suicide, and apparently the sergeant major started discussing production at the funeral. And literally this guy is mentioning or saying that I can't believe nobody said anything. Like, were you there and you can't believe nobody said anything? Like, why didn't you say anything? And that is such a freaking problem. Like, be a goddamn NCO, be a soldier, be a good person, fix it. It's that simple. Anyhow, Gimbal, Bookem. We don't have to get off yet unless it's that time. But if you guys have any parting words or,
very interesting stuff you guys said. It's very, very interesting to hear the perspective of military. Very interesting. What I do want to say, a couple of things. It's very different in law enforcement in regards to reaching out for help. All right. So let me clarify what I mean by that. So we have what's called a resiliency officer now, right? That resiliency officer is a supervisor from the same department. So now what happens is you go to this resiliency officer and you say, I'm having some personal issues. I've been having some thoughts of possibly hurting myself. But what happens is that immediately, because you made that statement that you possibly want to hurt yourself, they disarm you. They take your weapon, take any personal weapons you have, and now you're put on administrative leave, which then in return ruins your family, your family life, because you can't work overtime. You're put out until you go for a psych eval. So you're kind of put between a rock and a hard place where in law enforcement, a lot of guys and girls suffer in silence because they have nobody to talk to. So,
Bookem, real quick.
Real
quick, Bookem, and you bring up a very serious issue. So
but I got a question about when you're done.
If you do get relieved, medically, is there compensation for you guys then, or is that just it? Like in the military, if you're gonna go for a psych eval, you get your medical compensation when you get out, and you still will be taken care of financially and through medical care. For you guys, it's just you're done.
Well, see, it depends, right? So it depends on the severity of your PTSD or whatever you're going through, your mental condition. If you go in there randomly and say, listen, I've just been having some suicidal thoughts, I've been depressed, some things have happened on the job that I've witnessed, they'll put you on an administrative leave pending a forensic psychiatrist deeming you good to come back to work. Now, that forensic psychiatrist, to cover his ass or her ass, they're more than likely not going to put you back to work. You get what I'm saying? So it's all like a political game. And this is the reason why I say law enforcement, it's worse because, right? So like I go and I say, I feel this way, I'm depressed. Or I have a complaint about a supervisor. Instead of punching my supervisor in the face and get possibly fired for it, I go and I talk to another supervisor who may be friends or politically affiliated with that other supervisor. So you see where the problem. So now that's the problem in law enforcement, that a lot of guys and girls really don't. And it happened to me. I'll tell you a quick story. I got jammed up off duty many years ago, like 10 years ago, drinking at a bar with another fellow officer. Something happened. I ended up getting a city ordinance, right? Nobody helped me out.
Did you win the fight?
No, it wasn't no blows thrown, nothing. It was a little scuffle with some bouncers drinking. It's stupid. I was young, dumb.
I've been there.
We've all been there. Yeah.
I was off duty, obviously. I was in Morristown, New Jersey. The officer, the blue, he cuffed me. I told, whoa, I'm on the job. He had to do his job. Everything's okay. But long story short, I get a city ordinance. Nobody in my job had my back. My PBA was like, oh, here's the legal protection plan. You got to go do everything yourself. I literally never had been in trouble. So I had to go through this whole process by myself with a fear that I was going to get fired because you cannot be actively in law enforcement with a criminal record. You know, you can't be convicted. As small as a crime as it is, it's still a 2C. You're still convicted. So anyway, you get fired. So I was under numerous stress. I had no one to talk to. I was depressed. I suffered anxiety attacks. I just had my first daughter. I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? So I was there. I was at a very, very low point where everybody turned their back on me. And I couldn't tell anybody how you know, in law enforcement, you got to be careful who you talk to, because your own brother or sister will go back and tell the supervisor, and now you're out on administrative leave pending a psych eval. So it's like, yeah, mental illness is a serious problem in law enforcement, but the bigger problem behind that is supervisors and administrations not taking it serious and
like I said, there's people sitting in a room that make policy, even in the military, that it's not their responsibility to care about what's happening to you. All right. They don't care.
Yeah. Well, the problem with all of that is that we sit around, especially when it comes to mental health, and somebody's got a mental scrape, if you will, that a Band-Aid could help, or a mental cold that just a little bit of over the counter, like decongestant could take care of. But instead of paying attention to it when it's a little scrape, we make them
it turns into a massive
not
injury.
pay attention to it until it festers and it gets picked at, and then it gets infected. And then at the end of the day, when it really gets, and then we sit there and somebody kills himself, or they're a cop and they have, and here's the thing, like, you know, in the military, we like to puff our chests up and talk about our deployments and our combat and all this other stuff. Cops are deployed.
Well, yeah, especially compared to you. Especially compared to you.
They're deployed every day. Even when they're not at work, they're still where they are deployed. They're like every single day for 20 years, they're deployed. And we're like, well, yeah, but you didn't see combat. What do you mean? Because nobody was shooting at me. I didn't have to have a vest. I didn't go into weird situations in people's houses. Sounds a lot like we were both deployed.
It sounds a lot.
I just spent 20 years
prepared mentally.
We allow that to fester until they shoot themselves, or until they beat the shit out of somebody because they fucking came at them wrong. And then we're like, well, and then everybody just goes, well,
PTSD.
Well, I didn't know. I had no idea. How did that happen?
I'd never seen him act like that.
Oh,
Hey, if I may,
I am taken aback.
Go ahead, Mike.
Kimbo, go ahead. Go ahead, Mikey.
Yeah, if I may,
Mike.
Another thing I'd like to, it might be too, is I don't think like Nick said, and I said it earlier today too. Like I truly believe that like I don't even like using this word a lot because a lot of people use it a lot. Just in leadership, it's a people's business, and I don't think a lot of like individuals at the unit level take the time to personally know their subordinates or personally know each other, because all they do is they see is how they interact with each other at work. So they don't personally know them and they don't have that relationship built. No one's going to open up and say, hey, Dave, man, I'm going through a hard fucking time right now. Like I got some shit going on.
I'm under like a meeting.
So and if you don't take the time to get to know them personally, which is kind of hard in certain positions, but you still should try to make that time to get to know your buddies to your left and right. So
you mean leadership?
No, hey, no. So yeah, beautiful, Mike. Beautiful.
Mike,
so
beautiful. Beautiful.
No, hey, but then this is the reality nobody wants to talk about. I'm going to say it again to drive some home into people's heads. There are people that get paid by the DOD to not give a fuck if you commit suicide. Okay? There are people in the DOD that get paid to win fucking wars their way. Okay? Like Mike said, when you're in a position where you are with people, it is your fucking job. Okay? You're the one that guy sitting in a think tank of how he's going to defeat China, how he's going to defeat an insurgency in Morocco, how he's going to somewhere, right? He has to have the trust that Mike's down there on the line taking care of the people that are going to win that war. So again, if you're in a position where you think you don't have to worry about people, yet you have people under you, if you think you're much of the strategic, plan for the DOD, You're not, motherfucker. Okay? You're not. You're supposed to make sure the strategic think tank guys can do their job. Just like in the cop forces, I'm going to see if I'm right here with Bookem, but there are politics in the cop force as well, where that guy sitting in that room doesn't give a shit about Bookem. Okay? And he has to have that freedom. So it's a reality we don't want to talk about. It's a reality where there's guys making decisions, girls making decisions, leaders that are leading something else, that don't want to have their day interrupted because somebody down here fucked up. Okay? They also have the understanding that, hey, there's some guys we're just going to lose. We're not trying to stop suicide. That's not VTT's goal. Our goal is to save as many lives as we can that we can save. All right? And we've already done it. We've already saved lives. If our shit gets shut down tomorrow, we've already saved lives. Okay? And not me, not Joe, not Dave. All right? The community did. All right? The community saved lives. So again, don't get mad at the guy who gets paid to not give a fuck about you. His job is out. He's thinking out. We're paid to think in. All right, that's what we're paid for. All right, it's not a lot, but the guy who makes more money, who's doing the outward thinking, bitch, go get a fucking PhD about fucking global strategic plans. Okay? And then you're going to get paid all that fucking money. Okay, until then, do your fucking job. Be with your people. Understand you're going to lose some. It's going to happen. I'm out.
Bookem, I got your text. I know you got to roll.
All right.
The final
Yeah,
words,
Dave.
man. Give us a shout out real quick. Let everybody know where they can reach you, all your platforms, where they can hear your music, and then invite all your brothers, man. You know, like Buddy said, police officers as well, man. We are all law enforcement, and to some nature, we all are connected in the things we do. So, thanks for having you, man. And yeah, give a shout out to everybody again where they can find you.
Absolutely, guys. Once again, it's an honor, a pleasure to be here talking with you guys. Thank you for your service. If you want to reach out to me, you could go to Instagram, Bridges_Bookem. You could also reach out through the website, www.thebridgesproject.info. That's the best way to reach me. You'll have all my different handles on the website. I want to shout you guys out, Veteran Trash Talk. I'm going to be posting this on my page once you guys are done editing. I'm very grateful. Once again, Dave, Nick, Lawrence, who else am I missing? Sergeant Gimbal, Joe, everybody, man.
Don't forget about the fake Asian behind the scenes.
Oh, my boy Chris, my boy Chris. Hey, listen, Gimbal, I'm sorry, Sarge. Sorry for your loss, brother. Keep your head up. And everybody, man, thanks again. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay positive. You know what I'm saying? And I'll see you guys soon.
All right, brother.
Thanks, brother.
Peace, man. All right, later.
For Sergeant Gimbal,
Tonight's show is brought to you by Ventura Training and Athletics. Restore, train, maintain. Specializing in the restoration of the muscular system to help you move and feel better. Combating TBI, PTSD, and pain through specialized strength training.
You know, it's making
Again,
a difference.
get your body right, get your mind right. Defeat the demons.
Keep kicking Dave's ass in recruiting too, because it humbles him. He needs that. All right, he needs that. He needs that extra drive.
Yeah, we gonna keep on trying. I appreciate y'all.
We're going to keep on grinding. Hey, Michael, thanks for coming on, man. And, you know, thanks for sharing everything. And shout out to your entire company. I know you guys are going through some things right now. We're all here for you. You know, rest in peace, obviously. And, yeah, never give up the fight. Keep on fighting and keep taking care of your soldiers, because I know that's what you do. Gruntworks, Veteran Trash Talk, thanks for tuning in. Great show today. Shout out to everybody, and have a great Saturday. Catch you guys next week. Happy Easter. We're out.